Hi guys, today it's Paul and Lukasz with you, and for those of you who don't know, and Paul is our audio expert on our video and film productions, and
I try to be.
I
try to be.
It's been certified, and you do many things, not just the audio. We make sure we take full advantage of you whenever you are on the set. So you do many things.
Borderline slave. Borderline slave.
You wear many hats, and I even called you best boy, which was a mistake on my part.
Yeah, which you won't do again.
Right. But today the video is about
lav mics.
Lav mics.
We got a bunch of wired lavs, and we're going to be testing Mo for you guys.
Yeah, so the cool thing about the wired lav microphones is that they're more affordable than compared to the wireless microphones, which, like, for a good wireless system, you're looking at what, $500?
Something roughly, a couple $100, depending where and what quality because you could get cheaper wireless systems.
But something that you as a professional.
Yeah, if you're looking at quality wireless systems, you're looking at $500-600. Yeah.
Right, and so the nice thing about these wired microphones is that they're affordable, right?
They're very affordable.
Now the other nice thing is that you don't have to worry about radio interference with them for the most part, right? Mm-hmm. And the batteries last much longer. Although now you've also mentioned that on the wireless system, if you've got the right battery, you can also last through a day.
You will last a day with the wireless system on, as long as you just have pro batteries.
Pro batteries, yeah. So
not your regular consumer grade, the rechargeables, but you actually need like close to 3,000 milliamp hour pro rechargeable batteries.
Now the downside of a wired microphone system is that you're kind of tied to a location, so you don't have the freedom of movement.
I can't walk away right now. If I do, I'm pulling on a mixer.
We are together. Yeah. We are really together, united. So that's the downside. But for many situations like this one right now, or sit down interview, then the wired
they work
lav
very well. Yeah.
Work beautifully, and they're very affordable, and you can get professional quality on a budget again.
And the audio quality is also really good.
Right. The microphones we are looking at, they're between $20 and $30, so really affordable.
Yep.
So to test these microphones, we met up with the actress Asoya Hall in downtown Toronto, and we had an informal interview, a chat. And we figured this will be more fun than Paul and me saying test 1, 2, 3.
It'd be more interesting actually having a conversation and seeing, having somebody speak to the microphone instead of just tapping it and going test 1, 2, test 1, 2.
Plus, it's a more accurate.
Yeah, you go through more frequencies when actually having a conversation, so it's a more accurate test.
Right. So here's the test. So hi Asoya, and thank you for meeting up with us here in Toronto.
Hi, how are you?
I've been directed not to use my arms, but anyway, I really get into it, Paul.
I know, I do this too. I talk with my head.
Maybe what first drew you to acting?
Yes. It was more so when I was younger. I kind of just fell in love with the characters on TV, and then I always felt like I wanted to do that. And I kind of liked the idea of being able to play somebody different and just kind of give it my all, really. And so I kind of fell in love with that idea at that time. And then as I got older, I kept pursuing it. And it's still, to this day, the one thing that I really want to do. So it makes me really happy. I get really happy when I'm performing.
Coming out of that acting school, Armstrong Acting School, what were like the biggest things that you took out of it?
With that one, it was more so being real, being that character, and not being nervous. I get nervous a lot. It still happens sometimes, but I had to learn to kind of get comfortable with the camera. And I think that was probably my number one thing that I and then after that, I started taking a lot more selfies and having the camera around me more to try to help me to get a little bit more comfortable with it. I'd always look into it or get nervous or,
Other than filmmaking, what are your other passions in life?
I love fashion, so I started working on a clothing line. So starting off with doing that, I designed my own little things, but I want to start off doing just like t-shirts or just promo wear, just to kind of get the name out there.
Are you are you a fan of cinema in general, or like do you watch a lot of films? There's a big festival coming up in Toronto in a few days, I think. Are you going to be going?
I want to go. I definitely do want to go there. I haven't been yet, so I wanted to make this year the year that I do go.
Do you binge on Netflix or yeah?
I
you
do.
So you live in Toronto, right? You were born and raised here in Toronto?
No.
Not really. What do you like about the city? What you don't like maybe about the city? So before we get into the results of the tests, we want to talk about quickly about the differences in the physical differences and the differences in functionality between these microphones. And so the main difference is that some of the microphones allow you to plug into the TRRS plugs, and some use the TRS plugs. And the difference is that the TRRS plugs work with smartphones, and also those plugs supply power. So for example, the microphone we use, the A.Lav Easy, we had to actually use it on today's test with a smartphone.
Yeah, you just basically plug it right into your phone, open up the app, and you're good to go. You don't have to play around with on-off switches or anything like that. It's just a straight wire connected, and you're good to go.
By the way, the app that we use today, it's called the Rec Forge 2 Pro. So it's a pretty straightforward app to use. So, but it does give you enough control. So
yeah, it actually gives you a lot of options. So you could choose your kilohertz, you could choose mono or stereo, you could choose which file format. So it'll actually allow you to record in wave format at say 48 kilohertz or 44.1 kilohertz. You have all those features to choose from.
Now, one microphone, the Polson microphone, it's just a more like this traditional microphone that it has a battery. It uses a battery which is the LR44, but it will not work with a smartphone, right? So that's the disadvantage. But you can use you can use it with cameras and with like Zoom recorder and such devices. But the best, I guess, option is the other two microphones that we used, which was the A.Lav, and then also the what was the Audio-Technica, right?
The Audio-Technica AT3350 something, I believe.
Right. So the really great thing about them is that they have adapters for the TRRS, so you can you have the best of the both worlds. The other thing is with these microphones, some of them have their own power. Like the
Audio-Technica one offers its own power.
Yeah, and the Polson also have their own, they use the same battery, which is like the LR44. Now the A.Lav uses a rechargeable battery, so that's a good thing that you don't have to buy batteries. But the bad thing is if you run out of the battery,
you have to recharge it. Yeah, you can't just switch out the battery.
So that's, I guess, plus and minus. I wanted to mention about also, it's a nice feature to have, to be able to plug in headphones and be able to hear what you're recording, monitor, especially today, because of a little mishap that we had on the.
Yeah, we didn't really check the level when we were recording one of the mics to a smartphone.
The Easy mic, yeah.
The Easy mic, we didn't check the level, and it was a little too high, so it was clipping.
Two of the microphones we have actually allow you to plug into
headphones right in there, right, and then you monitor the levels.
Exactly. Yeah. Now the Polson microphone doesn't allow you to plug in, but since that microphone you're going to be using with cameras or a Zoom recorder, then those devices usually, the Zoom recorder of course has a headphone jack. Most cameras that you're going to be plugging into also have that headphone jack. So in a way you're also going to be able to monitor. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's really good. You've got somebody who's dedicated to monitoring the audio as you are doing it, to avoid mistakes like the mess up that I did today.
It happens. It happens.
A couple more points. The Aputure microphones, they have shorter cables, 10 feet, which is like 3 meters. And then the other two models have 6 feet, is it 20 feet, 6 meters, so double the length. Now, I guess in theory, longer is better, but what do you say?
I think it depends on the purpose. Obviously, if you're wiring somebody up, it's not gonna be a huge wide shot where they're 500 meters away. It's gonna be pretty close up. So having an extremely long cable sometimes I believe is just a nuisance. I think a 10-foot cable is more than enough to run through the person's shirt and out into a recorder or anything that you want. Unless you're running it straight to your camera and the camera's far away, then you might need a longer cord. But overall, longer cords, I don't like cords. All right, let's get into the meaty stuff. Let's get into the sound quality.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that's how you're going to choose which microphone to buy. And for me, the top two microphones were the A.Lav from Aputure and also the Audio-Technica microphone. And they're both, they have the adapters, so they can be used in both types of plugs, so that's really good. And the audio quality, for me, it was very similar, better than Polson and better than the EZ.
I actually thought that the Polson had really good audio quality. I thought the voice actually came through more natural than the Aputure microphones. Was it Aputure A.Lavs?
Yeah, there are two Aputure.
Yeah.
Just Aputure A.Lav and A.Lav EZ.
I just thought that the voice was more natural on the Polson and the Audio-Technica. So, my choice would be the Audio-Technica just because of the features that it has. But sound quality, Polson and Audio-Technica in my opinion.
So if you have to pick one, which is the winner?
Audio-Technica.
Audio-Technica, okay.
Yeah.
So for me, the winner is the A.Lav, Aputure A.Lav, because it just beats the Audio-Technica in terms of what comes in the package. Like that's. But they're very, very, again, all these microphones provide good quality. So
Yes, they do.
Actually, the most important thing is rather than worrying, about the slight differences in audio quality, I think, between these microphones.
Yeah, like comparable.
Yeah.
All of these microphones provide acceptable audio quality. It's just when you're starting to kind of nitpick, and then when you really listen to it, then you see slight little differences. But yeah, it's not enough to warrant not getting one or the other.
Yeah, so rather than worrying about which maybe microphone that gives you slightly better advantage, is about like how you use those microphones. So really be really careful with
Mic placement and wind noise and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the other key lesson from today for me is what?
Maintain your levels. Always check your levels when you're recording audio.
So we hope we helped you to find the right lav microphone for your project. And for more information on these microphones, visit our website. The link is in the description of the video.
Below.
And so thank you for your time and see you next time.
See ya, boys.
Oh yeah, just go.
All right, recording.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is it really that loud?
It is, yeah.
Like, that was that close to you?